Right, good evening. Welcome to the channel. All of you watching out there. If you remember, a few episodes back, we picked up this 1955 Ford Fairlane Victoria two-door hardtop. Actually drove it on the trailer. If you remember, it's the episode where we were in 3 states in one day, bought 2 cars, and when we got home, this one got dumped and has not been touched since. But it's Monday now. We've got a car show on Friday night, and we want to try to drive this over to Idaho. This isn't the car that came from Idaho. This is the one that came from Oregon. We want to try to drive this over there Friday night for a big cruise that they have, and the car does run, but as you can see, it has a kind of a makeshift fuel system. Basically was running off this tank in the trunk with this fuel pump. So we're going to address the tank. We've got to put a fuel pump on it. And first obstacle we have is we did actually get keys with this car, but we got keys for the ignition. We did not, however, get keys for this that I can find. I thought, oh, maybe they're in the ashtray. No, not in the ashtray. Somebody was firing off some lung torpedoes here in this car. Definitely no key to the gas tank in the fuel cap in the ashtray, and judging by the ashtray, it looks like whoever owned this car back in the day probably has some lung issues. So we're going to do the next best thing, and we're going to drill it out.
Up.
All right, so here comes the fun part. Drilling. Car's going, someone's trying to steal my gas. I felt like it hit some destruction. So now I can actually see where the keyhole goes in there. And I think if I get a flat tip screwdriver, I might be able to just turn it and open it. Maybe. But did I bring a flat tip screwdriver out here with me? No, I did not. Back to the shop again. There we go. Look at that.
Success.
She's off. Okay. I don't know if I can, with the angle, I don't know if I can see down in there, because this kind of curves down into the, no, it actually looks pretty dry in there. And it actually doesn't look very rusty from what I can see in there.
That tough little gas cap helped.
Yeah. So I'm thinking we might be able to use this fuel system as is. We're just gonna need a fuel pump, probably some new fuel hose, because that looks fairly dry in there. Alright, so with the looks of the tank promising that it may be okay, and we may be able to run this off of its original tank. We'll next turn our attention to this fuel pump here, and we will see if, you know, I don't even think I'm going to try it. I think I'm just going to put a new pump on it and just be done with it and not try to mess around. I'm pretty sure this car's sitting for this long. This fuel pump's got to be shot. So we'll go to work on that. All right. So again, you see there's two nipples basically on the top of this fuel pump. Is this car, like my 61 Galaxy, has vacuum wipers. So this is vacuum from the engine. This one here will actually feed this right here, which would run the wipers if they're operable, which I don't see why they wouldn't be. So now we need to go grab some tools so we can disconnect these, the fuel line from it. Actually, we can do that after that, but we need to get this fuel line off, the one that actually goes to the car. Okay, so let's see if this will come apart. Oh yeah. Like somebody was just driving her yesterday. That hose doesn't feel very good. Okay. I got a little bit too long of extension for that other side. Notice I'm getting the easier one first. Alright. One fuel pumpage. Look at that old school. It's still, you can see it still has some gas in the bottom of it. Actually, it feels like it might still have some pumpage. Alright, get our new master cylinder bolted into place. Okay. I sure hope the rod's on the correct side of the pedal since I bolted that down. Gotta tie that fender up. Alright, Peru, it's night 3. What are we doing? We can work on the Fairlane? You wanna work on the Fairlane? Huh? Yeah? Okay. Alright, let's put some brakes on the car. Come on. Good job. You guys have probably seen me do rear drum brakes probably a million times by now. Going, does this guy ever do a disc brake conversion on anything? Yeah, no, not really. Drum brakes work fine. We don't drive these cars a lot. Properly adjusted and tuned, these brakes work like a charm. Took these drums to work, machined them, they came out quite nice. There was plenty of meat on them. So now we're just going to have to do some adjusting to get these to come. Get the spring up off of there. It's too stiff to turn by hand, so I'm probably going to have to pop the thing out and adjust them. So with the adjuster, let's go to the other side and we will go ahead and get those brakes assembled. Alright, so now it's time to address this master cylinder. And I already have the line unplugged because I had to rob that bolt for my other 55, but I got another bolt for it, so we're good to go there. So we're just going to get this thing off the firewall. First thing we're going to do is unhook it from the pedal in the car. We'll get this thing changed out and we'll be right back with ya. Alright, so let's see how many of these we can strip out of the firewall. Let's see if we could get this thing out of here. Alright, let's see what we got going. Well, it's almost 10 o'clock. We're going to call it quits for tonight. Tomorrow night's the cruise. We still got work to do on the Victoria. I don't know if we'll make it, but we're going to give it a shot. We got brakes. Car's got brakes. Tomorrow we got to get a fuel pump on it. I do want to pull those front wheels off and pack those wheel bearings and make sure those are okay. You know, it's only an hour to Coeur d'Alene, but it's still, like I say, this car hasn't been registered since '92, so just need to kind of give it some once-overs to make sure everything's okay. I got some really cool wheels and tires I'm going to put on this tomorrow. I think you guys are going to really like those. We'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back on this tomorrow morning and see if we can button it up and get it cruise ready. Alright, so next day, it's actually Friday, day of the cruise. So we still have a fuel pump to put in it. We do have the brakes working. I want to pack these bearings. Yeah. But I'm losing time. Had to do some other stuff during the morning. But I did get the car registered. So it's actually legal to be on the road. So that was a plus. And went and got some non-ethanol gas to put in it. Next step is to get this fuel pump bolted in place, and then we'll try seeing if we can draw some fuel up from the tank. Alright, so fuel pump's in place. Got some fuel in the tank. Next step is getting some power to it. I'm just going to use a 12-volt battery to start it. It's a 6-volt system, but 12-volt battery just on the starter is fine. I'm not going to run lights or anything like that. I don't even know if the lights work. So next step is to get this thing cranking over and see if this thing will actually draw fuel from the tank. Alright, so now we're going to watch that fuel line and see if we can draw fuel. Got a battery hooked up. And now my worn out ignition. Careful not overheat this starter. So we're going to be watching for fuel to come out of the top of that tube right there. Six-volt batteries must have big posts on both sides, not a smaller one on the negative side, because that don't even come close. So we kind of makeshifted ourselves a little battery terminal holder on her there. Yeah, it's not the prettiest, but it works. It is kind of a nicer Craftsman screwdriver. I'll give it that. Oh, baby. Trying to get it to pump its own fuel. Just a tad too much, but totally dry, so to pull fuel from the tank. Maybe we could use the Mighty Vac to suck fuel up. Alright, so we got updates. We ain't making it to no car show tonight. No cruise in for the 55. The made in China Carter brand new fuel pump that I've got doesn't pumpulate, doesn't do anything. It just looks pretty hanging on the side of the engine. So now I've got the original AC, which you can see it says right there, made in USA. We're gonna see, I've got this one back in, we're gonna see if this one will still pump. It still feels like it has some action on the lever. So there's promise that this could work and get this car running, and we may not make it to the cruise tonight over in Coeur d'Alene, but it's our mission that we will drive this car tonight, somewhere. So now we got other issues. This fuel pump works, but apparently we've got a busted seam in this line. Let's try this again, now that we have a new metal line on. Given up by the 61 Starliner with the 292. I don't see any leaks yet. Here comes the fuel. Okay, so let's help it. Because there's no fuel in the bowls. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Nope, that fuel pump is shot too. There's two little holes down there in the side of the pump, and fuel is just spewing out of one of those little holes there, which means one of the diaphragms is probably cracked in there and ruptured. So, but we do know that she will run. Just a cruise tonight is not in the cards. Alright, so we didn't quite make it, but we promised you a cruise, and we're going to give you a cruise. Even if it's just to the back of the lot to park the car, we're going to drive this thing under its own power. Huh?
Out that
Oh yeah. All right, so we didn't make it to Coeur d'Alene, but we did make it back to the pasture. We will be on this car very soon, won't we, Peru? Yeah, that's right. We're gonna get these fuel issues sorted out. I've got the already returning the Chinese pump that failed us. There's a place that I found online thanks to some forums called Then and Now Automotive that actually sells rebuild kits for these early style AC pumps. Like I say, this pump is still pumping, but it's just leaking out the side. So I think our best course at this point is to rebuild this pump and see where we go from there. And I think once we get that done, then we can sort out the other bugs. We're probably cutting it too close to make it to the show anyway. Not that I would have attempted it, but we don't know if this thing's gonna stay cool. We don't know if the generator's charging. There's some other unknowns that probably we should address before taking the car to the next state, even though the next state's not very far away. So again, we hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more updates on this car coming soon. We've got the All Ford show coming up on the 4th of July, which we're going to try to take this car to. So hopefully we have all these bugs sorted out. I appreciate everybody sticking with us. What do you think, Peru? What do you think? I know. Parts made in China are just not good.